When choosing a school in the UK, it's key that it fits in with the profile of your son or daughter. You can have schools that are boarding schools where they stay on campus, or you can have other schools which they live in English people's homes and then go to school on a day-by-day basis. So it's making sure that the school, the campus, the environment that the school offers is the best one for the child concerned.
I think these fairs we're working with consulting agencies like Academic Consult, are a fantastic opportunity and place to start. They have relationships with tons and tons of different schools around the United States. So leaning on them as a resource to at least get started is a great way to go about that process. I think when you find a couple schools, one of the easiest way to find schools that they can be kind of similar to would be to check out their athletic schedules. So click on the soccer team and figure out who else they play, and then go visit those school sites and see if a school is for you. It's somewhat difficult to get to know a school 100% through a website, and I think that's why we take the time to come over and travel to around the world, to all these different states, to all these different places, so that you can meet people face to face and hear what a school's about, and get a sense of that. The best way to understand what a school does and the people that are there is to go visit. Our offices are open 6 days a week at Westminster, so that you can schedule tours, walk around with some students to get a sense of what's really going on and what the school is really about. So I think in a perfect scenario, visiting schools is the best way. In the New England area, there are many schools within a very short drive of each other, so you can knock out 6 or 8 different schools within a 2 or 3 day period in terms of interviews and visits. When you visit these places, you'll have a sense of where do I fit, what feels right for me. Do I want a big school, a small school? Would I like to be in a city? Would I like to have lots of green space? So again, working with a great agency is an opportunity to get at least a head start on some of those thoughts and those feelings, and then to target your list based on what you think you like from there.
To choose the school you're interested in, it's advised that you do a lot of your research. Every school has really impressive websites, and often schools will come to visit you in their city. I myself am visiting Moscow from the Boston area in Massachusetts in the US. So when schools come to you, chat with them, learn about their programs and their offerings. Some schools have an equestrian program. Some schools have an incredibly competitive athletic program. So if you're an ice hockey player, you want to make sure that you're speaking with ice hockey schools. If you are an equestrian, you want to make sure you're speaking with a school that has a competitive riding program. So do your research online and be aware of the people that you're speaking with, and so that you can be well versed when you have those conversations, because we love speaking with students who are excited about our school, and we really want to make sure that we can match your excitement and your enthusiasm and share with you all the information you want to know, because there is a lot of information.
Well, I think most importantly, you should be working with a good agency like Academic Consult, someone who really knows our schools and knows the culture of our schools, who maybe have visited the schools or we have spent time with them. At the end of the day, the most important thing is that it's a good fit for each boy at our school. And we want to ensure that it's a good fit socially, academically, athletically, artistically, in all areas of each boy's life. So that's really a good start, is working with someone who knows the schools and the culture of those schools to see how that boy might fit into our program. And I think visiting schools is really important. I know it's a long way to come, but when you step on campus and you see our teachers and our students in action, that's really important. But more importantly, you get a feel, a visceral feel about the community and how warm and comfortable and welcoming our school is. And that is often a really important factor for families who do choose to come to Fessenden. We have 16 different countries represented at our school. We are very familial, and our goal is to really ensure that we are preparing these boys for the global world in which they're going to enter. So the more diversity we have within our community, the better.
We have so much to offer in America. So researching how we have regional differences is a good place to start, then thinking about weather, and then thinking about what you want from a school, and talking to the school representatives and asking them, how can I get into Columbia? How can I get into Stanford? How can your school help me? Or how can I be better at a certain sport? or how can I be better at art? And just talking to the representatives from schools and researching their websites and talking to them, asking as many questions as you have, and that's where I would start.
Good question. There's lots of schools in the U.S. When you're looking at boarding schools, a lot of boarding schools will have similar programs, but I think all of us have very unique culture to our school too. So the first question you might ask yourself is, where do I want to be, East Coast or West Coast? Do you like the snow? Do you like cold weather? Or do you like warm weather? And the West Coast and the cultures are very different on the two sides of our country. After that, I think it's important to choose something that you're interested in, that you want to develop while you're in the U.S. So whether that might be something like business or engineering, or finding a school that has exactly what you're looking for, and the right size too. They have very large schools, and then you have smaller schools. And then lastly, again, it comes down to the culture of a school. Do a lot of online research, look at a lot of pictures, read reviews of a school to try and get a handle on what they're about. If you have the opportunity to visit the U.S. and visit several schools, that's absolutely the best way to find out which school is right for a student.
There are so many different types of schools in America, so many different types of boarding schools. There really are hundreds of options. So we always talk about the right fit in schools, and we challenge families to not be so set on looking at a specific location, unless maybe they have a family member nearby that location. But really, the location should not matter, because I think it's all about the culture of the school and what type of environment. Do you want to be in a very academic school, an athletic school, an art school, a science and math school, small, large, co-ed, single sex? So those are all the questions that you need to ask yourself. What type of environment? Ask the schools what the culture of the school is, what type of students they have. At my school, at the Webb School, our students are extremely friendly and accepting of one another. We call them very down to earth, which is a phrase that means they're not real interested in materialistic things. They're more interested in getting to know someone for who they are on the inside, not what they are on the outside. So that's kind of what we're looking for at our school.
Yep, there's a broad range of boarding school options available to international students. The key factors that you want to really examine are the size of the school, so the number of students, the percentage of international students in the student body, potentially the number of students from the country you're from, the percentage of boarding students, and the school's location. I think those are all critical places to start, as well as ensuring that the school has both the academic and co-curricular, whether it's athletic or arts programs that you're most interested in.
Well, I think you should be working with my friends at Academic Consult. They are a really great resource for you and are very well connected to many different great boarding school options in the United States. Choosing the right school is important. There are lots of great schools that are considered very prestigious and elite. And there's many different schools who have different missions and purposes. And so I think it can be easy to see one and think, wow, how exciting. But I would encourage any family to really do your homework and study up on the different schools that are out there. And like I said before, the cultural fit, the fit for your child's personality, and the different environment that they'll be in is a really important criteria to be thinking about when choosing a school.